What is going on, everybody? It is Frank the Tank, and welcome to week number 12 of this Summer League series. So, we continue to get closer to the end. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, week number 13 is technically the final week of competition because week 14 is like sweepers, and that doesn't technically count. That's sort of like a little bonus round where you can get extra money. I think that's how it works. If not, then I've totally got this wrong. But one way or the other, we're getting close to the very end. So, anyway, we're a week removed from that Morgan Hill 8-gamer that I participated in, and I did far better than I could have expected. And if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, you should definitely go check it out. It's in my Leagues and Tournaments playlist. It's also one of my more recent uploads apart from this one. So yeah, you should definitely check it out. Again, spoiler alert, I averaged 220 in 8 games, which I think is a far bigger improvement than the last one that I participated in, where I averaged 210. And so I walked into this week of League thinking that this was going to be super easy because I just did 8 games and I managed to average 220. And, you know, 3 games of League, that should be like a walk in the park in comparison. But as you could see from the title of the video, it kind of was the complete opposite. So I've really got nothing else to tell you guys, nothing to update you on. So I guess we're just going to go ahead and skip to the league results after week 11 because it's getting really, really interesting. Okay, guys, so here we have the results after week number 11 going into week 12. And clearly, as you can see, it's definitely getting interesting. We're getting close, man. Like they're catching us. And we definitely can't screw this one up because we had I think like a 2 or 3 point lead on the team that was in second place. And now, as you can see, they've caught up to us and now they're a point behind us. And then, of course, third and fourth, they would have to basically clean sweep in order to be able to get close to us. So yeah, we're going to be facing this team right here who are in last place. So technically this should be an easy one, but of course they don't have high averages, so we can't underestimate them. You never know. They could suddenly bowl the best games of their lives and beat us. So yeah, we definitely can't underestimate. And then, of course, as you can see here, the next week, week 13 is position round. And this is why I think that week 13 is technically the final week of competition. And then that will determine who wins this thing. So that would be really, really cool if we could win this thing because it has been a while since I won a league. I think the last one that I won was the very first one that I ever participated in with my friend Fernando and my other friend Alonzo. We teamed up together with another guy that we knew, and we won it. We won the Thursday night league, which had like 28 teams in it. And that was cool because it was our very first league together, and actually the very first league that we'd had ever participated in since we started bowling. And here I am, and hopefully we can pick up a second league win. That would be really cool. So yeah, that's the update, and I guess now we can start rolling the clip. Okay, so here we go, week number 12 on lanes 5 and 6. So, based off of the title of the video, as you guys can see what I titled it, you're going to see exactly what led to me being super pissed. So, yeah, I honestly walked into this thing thinking that this was going to be easy, but it turned out to be the complete opposite. And what led to it was, I think, was lack of practice, because I have not gone to practice in like two and a half weeks. So you're going to see it clearly throughout these 3 games. All right, so here we go, beginning on the right lane with the Idle Helios, a ball that I have yet to pick up in League until now. And that was basically one of the reasons I decided to pick it up. Of course, it's a great ball. It really works pretty well in my arsenal. But I still feel that I need a little bit more practice with it, because I know for a fact that I can understand what it's doing when it reads the lane, how it turns the corner. Yeah, I feel like I still need a little bit more practice practice with it to be 100% with it, if you know what I mean, because I still feel like I'm at 98%, and I can't settle for that. I need 100%. So, but I still decided, what the heck, we'll pick it up because, you know, it has been a while, and, you know, what's the point of buying a ball if you're not going to use it? All right, so here we go on the left lane now. Frame 2 after that light hit strike that I got in the first. Not bad. 10 pin though. Ooh, did you guys see that? Double dribble. I dropped it there. Put a lot of juice on that one. And the ball came back nicely. Continuing with the same plan. And I forgot to mention that I lined up on board 22 with this idle Helios. Because of what I saw in practice. Yeah, you see that right there? Like the lanes were a little bit more oily. At least this pair felt like, based on what I was seeing in the 10 minutes of practice, like all the bowling balls that when they were getting back around the corner, they didn't necessarily slap into the pocket. I got a lot of light hits, so I felt like I had to move a half board over from what I usually stand with all 3 bowling balls that I pack, except for the dart code. The dart code was still doing what the dart code usually does. And I decided to pick up the Marble Pearl for that because I didn't trust myself with the idle Helios to, when I have a pin above the bridge layout like you guys saw there, 60 by 5.5 by 60, I have to do something a little bit different with my hand when I put my fingers in the ball. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this. Any of you who have been on the channel for a long time have known this, that I don't put my hand straight into the ball. I kind of have to put, when my fingers are in the ball, I have to put it like, I have to turn it kind of like that. I know it's a little confusing, but yeah, I have to do that because when I have a little bit of trouble of keeping my hand behind the ball at release. So in order to ensure that I keep my hand behind the ball and I'm working the inside part, and I'm keeping my hand on the inside part of the ball even as I'm letting the ball go, I turn my hand more to the left like that. I'll probably show you guys one of these days what that looks like for any of you who are new here. So I lined up on 22 on the left and right lane, and right there I totally lost it, and you could see I just lost my balance and I lost the ball. Got it to the right way too early, but luckily it just came back and somehow all 10 fell down. Alright, so already I decided on a ball change because I just didn't trust myself with that idle Helios. And I didn't want to take the chance of wasting frames trying to figure things out, so I moved more right with this Marble Pearl, lined up on board 20. And I got lucky there. You could see the ball, it came back, but not enough to where it would really continue through the pins. I got a deflection, and you saw that 10 pin. So I knew I had the shot right, but I didn't put enough hand on it. And you know what? Allow me to make a little bit of a correction there. You can see the idle Helios in my hand right there. What I did was I didn't trust myself on the left lane with the Helios because obviously on the right lane I was still striking with the Helios, so I decided to continue with that on the right lane while I just used the Marble Pearl on the left lane. Yeah, unfortunately I ended up with the split there, and I think the slower ball speed is what caused that to happen, because I remember I looked up at the monitor and the speed was just a little bit slower. Yeah, when I saw that happen, I was really hoping that something would at least knock over the 10, but nope, didn't happen, and as a result we now have an open frame. Okay, so back on the left, 8th frame. For this one, I decided to cup the wrist and really get more revolutions on it. Because of what happened on the previous shot, how I got that kind of deflection. Even though it struck, I got the deflection, but as you could see there, putting more hand on it didn't really work out, so I kind of knew that at the same time that maybe I have to not only cup the wrist, but increase the speed, but then I thought, do I really want to continue wasting frames trying to experiment? So I thought to myself, okay, the next time I get back on this left lane, I'm going to uncup the wrist, less revolutions, and maybe just move a half board to the right. I mean, I could also uncup the wrist and increase the speed, but I felt like that would be just a little bit too risky. Okay, so after the split that I got with the Helios on this right lane, I decided we're just going to use the Marble Pearl and see what happens. And I thought There you go. We have our strategy now. No more Helios, just Marvel Pearl all the way. All right, 10th frame of game 1, and right here I knew that I needed to at least strike to pass my average because the opposing team were catching us, so I knew I needed to come in clutch here. And I didn't do it. I was angry about it. Man, I realized that shot meant that I could only get into the 190s, so I messed up. I messed up, and I will tell you this, because of that, because my teammates did what they needed to do. They passed their averages, but unfortunately, the opposing team passed their averages much higher than we did, so I was the scapegoat here. I was the reason why we lost game 1, and I was really, really angry about that. I made it, but I wasn't happy about it. Word of advice to everybody, do not let your anger get the best of you. Otherwise, things like that will happen. It'll affect your game. Alright, so game 1 finished with the 194, starting off a little bit slow, and as you can see here, we now made another change to the dark code because I felt like, you know what, I'm gonna not play good if I continue using these other bowling balls, so I just felt it. I just knew, so I figured, you know what, let's pick up the dark code because I think it's quite obvious. You guys have seen it so many times that when I need a cushion to fall back on, the dark code is that cushion. It always works, and I think I hate to say this about, but remember how I said the nuclear cell was my #1 favorite ball? Well, it's slowly starting to fade away from being my #1 favorite, and this dark code is now working its way to becoming my #1 favorite. Oh, skinny jeans. I got very lucky there. Ball sat in the oil a little too long and almost didn't get back. It's crazy to me to think that the dark code would end up becoming one of my most favorite, but it is. It's crazy. I mean, I was never a fan of the code series, but this ball, I tell you, with its high differential, it's incredible. It doesn't get too far down the lane. It responds at just the right moment, and then the way it turns the corner, I tell you, it's just a perfect combination. You know, when it reads the lane, how it gets around the corner, it's so easy for me to like understand its motion. I can repeat shots with it, and I'm just so surprised that I'm able to. Things are easy for me when I have to play that far left. It's so weird to me. I thought it'd be difficult, but it's not. It's actually easy. All right, I think we're on the 3rd frame now. We are indeed on the 3rd frame, and I leave what I think is the 2 and the 4. No problem at all. I tell you, that dark code, when I'm struggling, when I can't find a line with anything else that I'm using, I can just turn to this ball because I know I can count on it. Bowling becomes easy when this ball is in my hand. All right, we're on the strike train now after an 8 spare in the 3rd and a strike in the 4th. See what I mean? How beautiful is that? Isn't it beautiful or what? All right, I think we're now on the 6th frame. Lucky there. Light, that definitely looked like a light mixer. But it definitely looked like I put a little more juice on that because it looked like the ball was traveling down the lane a little quicker. All right, so I'm still doing the usual, standing on 27 like I usually do, lining up on 27 with the dark code. Fell off on that one. Lucky that it held there. That was a little bit more, that was just a little bit left of target compared to the last shot. All right, so we're on a string of strikes here. And that string of strikes ends right there on the 8th frame. And now I have a 10-pin to deal with, but after what happened at the 8-gamer, how I didn't miss a single 10-pin, I imagine that's going to carry over to this one. We're still good on our 10 pins. Terrible shot. Walked away from it, knew it immediately. Way too left. I think it's been a while since I've done that. Okay, so for this, I was almost going to pick up my spare ball, but then I thought, wait a minute, what if I try something here? Like, okay, here's what I did. Check this out. I thought, okay, the pocket is still right there, right? Minus all the other pins. So I thought, what if I put the dart code right there in the 1-3, and it'll take that pin out right there. I don't know. Is that the 6? I don't know, but yeah, that was my thought. So I thought, let's put back the spare ball and try that out and hope that this works. And it did, but I messed up. I actually did mess up. You could see there. I let the ball go in a way that like it basically was like forward rolling, and it kind of quit there. It didn't get back around the corner like it should have because I lost my balance, and I was thinking a little too hard about this one. All right, so we made it to the 10th frame, and I made up for what the screw up that I had in the first game, and I passed my average, which meant that we won game 2. So it's not a complete and total loss. So like I walked away from this one thinking, okay, at least we got a point, because I was paying attention to what the other teams were doing. And let's see, the team that were behind us by 1 point, they had lost the first game, and unfortunately I didn't know what happened in the second and third game because they were taking forever. They chose to take their time. They chose to drink a lot too. But by the time we were finished with our games, these guys on lanes 1 and 2, they weren't even like halfway done with game 2. So there was no way I could know exactly what their results are, if they've caught up to us or if they totally like blew it. But one thing's for sure is we caught a point, so that definitely was crucial. And then the teams that were on lanes 3 and 4 that had 24 points. They lost games 1 and 3, and they lost games 2 and 3, and they won game 1. So I know they only got a point. So we knew we at least needed a point, and I think we would be okay as long as the team that was behind us by a point didn't like totally clean sweep or win at least 2 of their 3 games. And so my streak of picking up 10 pins is over. All right, game number 3, final game of the night, and even though I missed that 10 pin, I passed my average. That's what mattered. We got the point, but obviously we wanted to go all the way and try to win this one too, to get an even bigger lead in the competition. I didn't change up my game plan. Once I'm on the dart code, I don't switch off of it because, again, not once have I ever had problems with this ball. See what I mean? I hardly ever have problems with this ball. However, I will say the only time I'll probably ever switch off of this ball is if that right side of the lane, down lane, like the breakpoint area starts to dry up, because obviously this ball already is a hook monster as it is on the fresh. So if I had to if you guys watched my 8-gamer video, you could see exactly what I mean. Like, it's not a good idea to use a ball that hooks a whole hell of a lot when the lanes are drying up. It's better to switch to a low differential ball like I did in the 8-gamer. I switched to the Hustle Wrap, and I stood literally on the exact same board that I would stand on with the dart code, and it was still getting back around the corner and making it to the pocket. So yeah, that's basically my tactic for when the lanes start to dry up. Pick up a pearl ball, one that has low differential and higher RG. All right, here we go on the left now. After a strike in the first. I tell you, my balance is just atrocious at the foul line. I definitely have to work on that next practice. To the right too early. Didn't put anything on it, and the ball didn't get back, so that was my fault right there without a doubt. Luckily for me, nobody had their hand up, so no pressure. Even if everybody did have their hand up, it wouldn't have mattered. That one's too easy. That's kindergarten stuff. All right, after a 9 spare in the third, here we go in the fourth. Yeah, I've definitely got to work on my form next practice. I can tell you right now, throughout the night, I was getting very heavily bothered by how how bad my form was. Luckily, it didn't affect my shot making too much, but still, I was very much bothered by how bad my form was. See, my God, it did affect some of my shots here and there, but man, I just do not like that. Double dribble again. I dropped it. What is wrong with me? This ain't basketball. All right, we're in the 6th frame now. It's bad form for days. How I'm able to even make some good shots is beyond me. I mean, the form is just so awful. It got worse by the game, basically. Like I was doing pretty solid with my form in the first game, and then the second game it got kind of worse, and then the third game, it's just gone. All right, now I think we're in the 7th. Falling off again. Got lucky there. It looked like it wanted to go high, but luckily it held enough to really hit the pocket and blow all 10 back at the same time. Left of target, and now my max score decreases, and I'm putting myself in a situation where the 10th frame is going to become the crucial one. And at the same time, our opponents, man, they are catching us. They were giving us a fight. Remember what I said at the beginning of the video. Do not underestimate it. You know, like these guys could suddenly bowl really good games out of nowhere despite their low averages, and that's exactly what they were doing. They were giving us a fight. They were not making it easy for us. I'm telling you, this bad form is really starting to make me mad right now. I mean, come on, Frank. Where is this coming from? I mean, obviously the lack of practice is a contributing factor to this. I have not practiced at all, you know. I've just been going to league every week. I didn't even practice like for the 8-gamer either. I just went there. Okay, so we've made it to the 10th frame, and this one is crucial because if I strike out, I think I get 238, so I need to rack up as many jacks as possible because that way it makes it a little bit easier for my teammates to not have to really perform in the 10th frame. And then obviously it makes it more difficult for the opposing team to have to try to get the win in the 10th frame. But they were catching us. They literally were like a handful of pins behind us. So I knew that whatever I did in the 10th frame, it would basically determine what would happen. So, yeah, here, take a look at this. Whatever I did, definitely, it was going to basically determine the outcome. Take a look. Shot was good, but the bowling gods decided to throw me the middle finger. And they said, nope, not today, sir. Sorry. So, yeah, 7-10. The worst possible time for that to happen. Honestly, like the shot was good too. Like I didn't see how it hit the pocket, but still, it looked like I don't know. It looked like a good shot, but I was mad about it without a doubt, and I didn't even. I was over it. I was done. I just chucked the ball down the lane. I didn't even care, and yeah, I could only go for a 204, and that really sucked because in the end. Just to add more salt to the wound, this opposing team, they got what they needed, and they managed to take this final game from us. So we only managed to rack up a point in the end. So again, now really, I don't know where this puts us in the results. Surely we're still in the top 2. I don't know if we're still in first or if we've moved down to second. Again, it depends on what that other team who trailed us by a point, it depends on what they did. And I'm still awaiting the results as we speak. But that was honestly the worst time for that to happen. I knew it had to happen at some point, but why now when we're trying to win this league? So just when I thought that the pain couldn't possibly be any more worse, it is. Take a look at this. So game one, we got a 194. Game two, we got a 225. And game three, we closed it out with a 204 for a 623 series compared to last week's series total, which was 624. So we lost it by a pin. And the reason I say this hurts worse is because look at the series required to raise my average plus one, 624. I was off by a pin. A pin! Unbelievable. And now that brings the pin total after week 12 to 7,451 after 36 games played. And as a result of that, my average still remains at 206. So, yeah, that really sucks. So I guess it all comes down to the final week. Week number 13. And again, I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works. Is week 13 the final week? Because it did say position round. You guys saw the paper. But yeah, I don't know. Is week 13 the final week? I don't know. Again, I don't pay attention to this stuff. I mean, I just show up and play. I'm that type of guy. I'm a simple man. So anyway, yeah. Nothing more to say other than this one really, really hurt, and I just want to forget about it. But week 13 is definitely going to be the interesting one because I guess that's going to determine the outcome, who wins. So I'm Frank the Tank. I hope you guys enjoyed my pain and misery. I'll see you guys in week number 13. Catch you later.